Before this early morning's group meditation, let's explore the hidden meditations. Let's try that again. Let's explore the meditation secrets hidden in Yab symbolism. The first thing we notice is nudity. This is a wonderful metaphor for vulnerability. The key to mindfulness was never intended to be active concentration. Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we access our sympathetic nervous system, which has evolved to merely notice, and to do so vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. This type of vulnerability is expressed metaphorically as nudity. That's why a common phrase translated from the Tibetan into English is naked awareness. Humorously, when I first heard that phrase, I thought it was a reference to sexy time, to sexual tantra, but it turns out it was a reference to vulnerability. The second metaphor is translucence. It's tough to really see that from this image here, but the couple, known in Sanskrit as Samanta Bhadra Karama Mudra, and in Tibetan as Kuntu Sangpo Yabyum, and in English as the all-good mother and father, they're depicted as being translucent or incorporeal. The incorporeality is a metaphor for the following. Every time we exhale, we automatically access our parasympathetic nervous system, which has evolved to physically relax and mentally release. Doing so, it could feel like whatever we noticed during the previous inhalation was now less graspable. The third thing we notice when gazing at this image is that both the man and the female are quite handsome. They're quite beautiful. It is said, karmically speaking, that love and compassion are the karmic cause of beauty. And whether that is real or whether that is merely folklore, beauty has come to be a metaphor for loving kindness. It has been said by the Dzogchen Lamas that the highest love is spontaneous and uncontrived. It is a product of the flow state that we generate through our practice of inhalations mindfulness and exhalations meditation. Let's continue. Consider, if you will, the woman, the redhead. She is the color of a cumulus cloud, and she is depicted as sporting in tantric union with wild abandon. That has come to be a metaphor for the play of mind. Mind evolved to be playful. What are some of the examples of the playfulness of mind? Mind playfully watches, hears, feels, tastes, smells, and the like. Mind emotes, intends, reasons, recalls, imagines, and confabulates. Contrary to the ravings of the fundamentalists, contrary to the ravings on the path of the Sith, contrary to the ravings of those who think it's a very good thing to be rigid, fearful, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel. There's nothing wrong with mind being playful. Our minds have evolved to be that way. It is at the very least, a survival mechanism. We impede that. We repress that. We ignore that at our peril. The first of 7 enlightenment factors is mindfulness. It's not only our job to allow our mind to be playful, but to notice that playfulness and to notice it vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. There are some of the things we notice. Let's put it this way: we can, within those 12 categories I just enumerated, some of the things that we will notice will be external, some will be internal, some will be physical, some will be mental, some will be pleasurable, some will be painful, some will be interesting, some will be boring, some will be glorious, and you guessed it, some will be grotesque. When I was a little boy, me and my sister would spend our Saturday afternoons watching reruns of scary movies on our black and white television set. And when I got too scary, we would either hide behind our mother so the monster could get her first, or we would hide behind the couch. As adults, we understand that just because we can't see something scary doesn't mean it can't see us. There is no safety in hiding from uncomfortable realities. Au contraire, the key that unlocks the door of liberation is vulnerable perception. If the female figure represents the playfulness of mind, what does the male figure represent? The male figure whose color is that of the azure sky on a bright and beautiful day. He represents, so if the female represents watching the play of mind as we inhale, the male represents relaxing into the non-graspable nature of mind as we exhale. Now, this is an automatic process. Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, thanks to our parasympathetic nervous system, we are already wired. Each of us is already wired to both physically relax as well as mentally release. Now, that doesn't mean that what we noticed is going away. That doesn't mean that if we've noticed the rape of the planet or the genocide of children or the abuse of women, it doesn't mean that just because we've exhaled, it's magically gone away. Remember, any fool can find peace when everything is just the way they want it. It takes the mark of spiritual accomplishment is finding peace despite the dissatisfaction externally and our reaction to it. Most of us, I'll be right back. Please bear with me. And I am back. Thank you very much for your patience. I apologize for keeping you waiting. So just as during our inhale, we are wired to watch the play of mind and to do so passively, as we exhale, we're wired to relax into the non-graspable nature of mind. This is not something to be understood. This is not something to be believed. It is something to be experienced. And hopefully it doesn't sound spooky. We are already wired to relax as we breathe out. So allow me to give you an illustration from my own grisly life. I have a constellation of health problems. Last night I had a surgical procedure on one of my eyes, with laser, and they had to fix the retina, and super uncomfortable, to put it mildly. And as I was on the receiving end of the procedure, I was practicing this meditation. As I breathed in, I silently and mentally recited the verb watch. As I breathed out, I silently and mentally recited the verb feel. I chose not to hide from my perceptions, my emotional perceptions and my physical perceptions. I chose to embrace them as I breathed in, and I chose to physically relax as best as I could in that absurd circumstance as I was breathing out. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say that through the magic of these two monosyllabic verbs, it was orgasmically pleasurable, because that would be what we call in Her Majesty's Navy a lie. But it made it less intolerable. And my friends, sometimes just moving from the intolerable to the fractionally less intolerable is a victory. Or as I tell people who come to me for spiritual counseling, I say, when you're having a shitty day, come over, we'll go for a walk, we'll laugh, we'll pet dogs, and when we're done, you will feel fractionally less shitty. And sometimes that is a win. I gotta tell you, so you gotta find your victories where you can. And sometimes just fractionally less bad is a win. So there you have it. I look forward to chanting and meditating with you after a little bit less than a minute and a half of housekeeping. This is the Sagi Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. If you love Star Wars and you wish to meditate as transformatively as Obi-Wan Kenobi upon the toasty sands of Tatooine under the guidance of the non-corporeal Qui-Gon Jinn, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. And now for a bit of the old good news. At any point during this early morning's live stream, you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, Buddhist meditation, and their application. Simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. If you're watching on a laptop or a desktop, that'll be on the right. If you're watching on your smartphone and you're holding it vertically, it'll be down below. If you're holding it horizontally, you gotta twist the thing vertically. Sorry, that's the best I can do. Okay, so let's tap button 9 and look for the appropriate tab. Here we go. I'm going to turn down the intensity of the screen just because my eyes are sensitive after last night's adventure. Okay, so we're going to chant a concise version of, we're going to practice a concise version of the chant of bodhicitta and refuge, which can help to stimulate the neural pathways responsible for empathy and enthusiasm. So I find that this extensive version is ideal when you want to take a nap or you want to go to bed at night. And I found this concise version is ideal when you want to wake up or you want to work out. Personally, because I'm a weirdo, I like to blend this with, I used to blend it with Tibetan style Buddha bowing, but because of degeneration of my discs, I can't do that. So I blend it with different variations of geriatric step back squat thrusts, which is quite delicious. You can do it with or without push-ups. You can do it with or without pikes. You can do it with or without dumbbells. You can even do it with or without chin-ups, or in my case, assisted chin-ups. So, now that I've given you the lowdown on the hoedown, let's chant. May I liberate all beings by relying on the three jewels. May I liberate all beings by relying on the three jewels. May I liberate all beings by relying on the three jewels. And at last we come to meditation. We've already received the instructions of how to practice. So let's just practice right now. And remember, the moment you have a specific question, strike where the iron is hot and type it out in the description window. I'm sorry, the chat window. I guess I should have said this during the opening lesson. To me, I've always found the iconography of Kuntu Zangpo Yabyum compelling. And I am elated that I was able to stumble upon the correlation of this image with Chagdu Tulko's instruction to relax into the nature of mind, and Tulku Tundup's instruction to watch the play of mind. To me, this is absolutely thrilling, that the key to enlightenment, the key to liberation is just this easy. Let us take a deeper look at the simile, comparing the blue of Kuntu Zongpo with an azure sky. A phrase we read in much Dzogchen literature is the vast expanse, which clearly is the opposite of feeling constricted and compressed. When we concentrate, we feel constricted and compressed. When we let go and relax, we feel vast and expansive and broad and free and unencumbered. That we are the key that opens the door to that experience is our exhalation and our enthusiasm to cooperate, to use our will, to use our intention to cooperate with this ancient capacity of latent within our spinal cord to do just that, to relax into the vast expanse. That is one of the reasons we use the metaphor of a exquisite azure sky on a bright and beautiful morn. Oh. Okay, my friends, I'm still recovering from yesterday's adventures, and so this is going to have to be a shortened meditation session, and I do apologize for any inconvenience I may be causing you. So let's conclude our practice with two concise chants, beginning with kind ethics. May all beings practice of kind communication, conduct, and commerce flow spontaneous and uncontrived. Let's conclude with the four immeasurables. May everyone be free from misery. May everyone be happy. May no one be separated from the happiness. May everyone have balance from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging freed. If you feel that I have earned it, you could type something in the chat window, you could give this live stream a thumbs up, you could share it with a friend, you could even help support this channel on Patreon. In approximately 3 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's mid-morning group meditation. Until then, may you and yours be happy and healthy. And if you are as geeky as me, this is the way.